What's up, y'all? It's been a little minute. But I'm back. You can see that she said this woman and killed her mama. Boy, I couldn't imagine if one of my brothers did some shit like that, boy. That's not I couldn't even think
Trishana,
about
my
that.
granddaughter, is here to prove to me she didn't have nothing to do with killing her mom. But I refuse to believe that. If she didn't do it, she put a hit out on my daughter. I got a call from one of my family members, and they had told me that Trinice had just been murdered. Once I found out that my child had been murdered, I arrived at the scene, and her body was laying there on the ground. Trishana, my granddaughter, was at the scene. She looked it cold, no feelings or anything, but she was pregnant and big pregnant. So I thought maybe she was in shock, but she had no tears for her mother. I couldn't understand how cold she was looking at my daughter dead there.
Right.
And I knew that she hated my daughter. Trinice had heard that Trishana hadn't had the baby. That's why my daughter was on the highway and back in New Orleans, because she had got a call that Trishana had given birth. Once I got to the site and saw Trishana still there, pregnant, big pregnant, I said, now what kind of lie is this? That she's supposed to be in the hospital having the baby.
She said big.
So she lured my daughter to New Orleans in order for to murder her or have her murdered.
Other sausage brands use non-meat filler. That's just non-good. Keep it real, people, and keep it juicy.
Jam, boogie, woogie, jam, slam, bust the dialect, come the man and command, come. Flow with the sounds of the mighty.
I think Trishana wanted my child to be murdered because of the hatred that she had for her. Trishana felt as though my daughter neglected her and didn't give her enough attention. She kept fighting my daughter, and I used to have to break up the fights. Trishana was so hateful. She was jealous of Trinice because my daughter was a go-getter. Trinice was my twin. She looked like me. She was valedictorian of school. She helped me achieve my GED. She was a helper. But unfortunately, she got involved with the wrong people. Trinice was out there selling dope. I actually think that Trishana's baby daddy was involved because he had robbed Trinice 3 times before. And Trishana knows that. And Trishana gave the detectives his description. She knew it was her baby dad did it. It'll shock me if she passes that lie detector test. I've been fighting for the truth for 7 years, and I'm here to get it today.
I ain't gonna lie. It kind of sound like this lady, the mom, her grandma, whatever. Uh, Honestly, just looking for somebody to blame. You know what I mean? Like, and these are probably the only people that was probably around her at the time when she passed away. So she probably just like it was them.
Shoshana, it sounds like your mother's death has caused a big rift in your family.
Yes.
Is it just your grandmother that thinks that you had something to do with your mother's murder, or are there other people?
My grandmother and a lot of other family members on my mother's side of the family feel like I have something to do with my mother's murder. When my mother was first killed, we didn't really know why she was killed, but I did know my mother was drug trafficking and stuff like that. I didn't know, that she was in New Orleans when she got there. I didn't know that she was coming, but I didn't know that she had arrived. She never disclosed to me what day that she was coming to New Orleans or anything like that. I was 9 months pregnant at the time. I did not call my mother to New Orleans to tell her that I was getting ready to go in labor. That's not the truth. It was put on the news, but my grandmother and my other family members put that on the news.
Man, it's crazy how the motherfuckers down in Louisiana sound. I ain't even gonna lie. They just sound different. the way they pronounce their words.
Investigation into my mother's murder. The detective had showed me a surveillance picture of a guy
People
dressed
probably
in all
say
black
I know
with
they
a
I know people say that I got a fucking accent, but hey, I'm from the South. I can't help it, you know. And the further south you go, the more it's going you gonna hear that twang. Just like the more north you go, it's gonna get I don't know more rough, rough. I don't know.
black stocking cap over his head. I could still see his skin complexion, and he did seem to be resemble someone that I knew. So I told him that he looked like my child's father. Um, and at that time, we were going to custody court. We were dealing with some ugly things in regards to our child. He had sent me pictures of like money and checks and stuff like that, saying that I would never see my baby ever again, that they were set for life. And so it didn't seem crazy.
Did you have your baby?
I had my baby that I was pregnant with like 2 weeks after my mom passed.
So what baby are you?
I'm talking about my older son.
So he had your oldest child.
He had my
and
oldest
he basically was saying, "Hey, you're never going to see."
Right.
So you weren't on good terms.
We weren't.
Did you maybe say that your baby's, the dad?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say maybe out of spite, or maybe you were mad and said, "Yeah, that looks like him"?
No, it really wasn't a spiteful thing. The guy actually did kind of resemble him. You know, I didn't get a clear shot of the face. I just saw the skin complexion. I saw the figure, and that's the only person that I know that could look like that at the time. So, after that, I didn't hear any more about it. I confided in another family member and told them the same thing that I'm telling you, and it kind of just went from there with the rumor. My child's father and my mom did do business before, so it wasn't like crazy to think like he had something to do with it, because it wasn't like.
So you think in your mind, he might have had something to do with
He might have did,
but not anything to do on your behalf.
Not at all.
Was anybody ever arrested in your mother's?
Yes. The people that were involved in the car with my mom that night, one of the suspects were arrested. But this case is not a investigation of homicide division anymore, because it's dealing with drugs. The feds have the case, so we don't have any more information on that. I do know that my child's father was not questioned because his name was brought up. He did have a mug shot.
I think the feds picked it up. I don't know if she said that or not. Let me go back.
Investigation of homicide division anymore, because it's dealing with drugs. The feds have the case.
Yep.
So
that's why I was just yep. Dang. That could be good and that can be bad on her part, because they ain't talking to them at all. We don't have to tell y'all anything. You know what I'm saying? The feds don't have to tell you nothing.
We don't have any more information on that. I do know that my child's father was not questioned, because his name was brought up. He did have a mug shot in the book, just to identify. But as far as I know, he doesn't have anything to do with it.
But somebody was arrested.
Someone was.
Okay. How did you find out about your mother's death?
I got a call one night. It was kind of late. I got a call from a family member telling me that my mom had been shot in the head on a certain side of New Orleans, and it didn't sound right to me, because my mom usually don't hang that way. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, that don't sound right. So she was like, call such and such, and he'll give you, the rest of the story, because that's all I know. So I called this person on the phone, and it was like, yes, your mom is dead and stuff like that. And I just cried. I just broke down. I was hurt. Me and my mom, we had our problems. It wasn't a perfect relationship, but I loved
my mom was my last one. Like, I done lost my dad, I done lost my grandma, I done lost my grandpa. Like, my mom, the last one standing out of, you know what I'm saying? Like, out of people that, other than my brothers and I still got my brothers, my godmom, Benita, that's my godmom, and my girlfriend. Like, I got people still here, but when you lose people, bro, like I'd have been losing people. I feel like I want to say since I was like 13. If it ain't every year's every other year or every few years, I'm losing somebody. Friend, family member. Man, I feel her pain. I hope she did. I hope. I can't say I feel her pain because if she killed her mom, psh, throw the book at her.
My mom, you know what I'm saying? I would have never gotten her killed at all. Like I wouldn't have done, I wouldn't have done. So at the end of the day, Steve, like, my grandma, she is crazy. Straight up and down, delusional, crazy. She says the
Let's go. Let's say this.
most absurd things. Like you would never expect a grandma to say. Like, during my mama's funeral, I was just like
I'm gonna say that she's innocent.
in shock still. You know what I'm saying? The last time I had seen my mom, we were in Houston in our house.
But people cry when they're guilty too. But I'm gonna say she's innocent.
So it was just kind of like overwhelming seeing my mama in the casket. You know what I'm saying? When I
Right.
got to the casket, my grandmother said, "This looks like you dead in the casket. I'm 9 months pregnant." She didn't grab me for a hug. She didn't try to console me. At the scene of the murder, I was just in shock. I did break down crying. At the scene, my grandmother was just shouting, like, I knew this was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to be my daughter. I thought it was going to be you. You know what I'm saying? Because she always hated me. My grandmother never was in my life. I didn't start to live with my mom until I was 12 years old. They never really had a hand in my upbringing. My mom just kind of, my mom
Why
She
did
just
why
shut
did
up
your
back
grandmother
there.
hate you?
I don't know if it was just jealousy because my family took really good care of me. I never wanted for anything. Birthdays, they was like the best family.
So you don't have a relationship with the person y'all backstage?
Never.
Froze
She's
my
always
damn
been very
ice.
open.
I wouldn't.
Went to work. Put my cup of water in the damn freezer and forgot all about that shit. Came home
Does
to a
it bother
frozen
you
cup.
that you don't have a relationship with her?
Yes, it bothers me because my mom isn't here. You know what I'm saying? And she's
So because your mom's not here,
right.
You would like that. I mean,
because I know that's what she would have wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is my grandmother, and I do have 5 children. So I would like for them to know their grandmother, but she has a lot of ugly ways that just has me to the point where I just really don't want to.
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube banning ad blockers? Like, chill, guys. Just use Pi. It's a free Chrome extension that's actually made by one of the
in my life.
So let me. I want to understand something. Why didn't your mom raise you?
My mom ran the streets. I stayed with my mom from 13 all the way till I was like 21, 22. Yes, I was trying to work on my relationship with my mom. I love my mom. What girl wouldn't want to have a good relationship with their mama? You know what I'm saying? So the idea that I had anything to do with her being killed is absurd.
It's crazy.
I know you had my child killed because you hated her. You're a fighter.
Nah, I'm looking at grandma, how she just came. I don't know. I feel like grandma just is hateful. Grandma, her grandma probably just hateful, and she seemed like a bitter woman. You know what I mean? She just want to blame somebody.
Beating up all the time and stuff. And I used to have to drive to Texas and come out there and tear your ass
Grandma,
up
you never drove.
and stuff.
It's sad that you
It's
really
sad
get
that
on
you're
the
standing
stage.
here lying.
It's sad
Why
that
you
you get on the
murdered
stage
my child?
and say something
Why
like
you
that
murdered
when
my
you
child?
know
You
the
and your
truth.
baby dead.
You know.
Why did you murder my child?
I had nothing to do with my
You
mother.
and your baby
If
dead.
anybody murdered my mother, you
With
murdered
his
her.
dirty red
Upholding
Why
the stuff
did
that she
he
was doing.
shoot my child
He did not shoot
all
her.
the time?
He did not
In
shoot
the
her.
back.
He did not
In
shoot
the
her.
back.
My mother wasn't
And
shot in the
stuff.
back.
Tell the truth and shame the
Bro,
devil.
I'd want an apology from her after all of this. If she didn't, I'd want an apology for all this. And then guess what? I wouldn't with grandma no more.
You was staying with us. You
Grandma
knew all the trouble my mom was getting into. You know my mom was.
She wouldn't see her great grandbabies or nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't about to be hateful to my kids.
Getting ready to go to jail.
She's
You know
abusive,
people
I
wanted to
bet.
kill
She
my
whooped
mama
their
for
ass, I
money and
bet.
drugs. You already know my mama was working with the
We ain't
police,
doing
but you
that
get on the stage
2024,
and put on the front.
2025.
Be yourself.
What was your daughter's feelings towards her own
Oh,
child?
damn. I'm tripping.
She loved her, seeing that she got her
She loved her.
GED and everything.
She loved her.
And everything. She took very good care of her children.
She took very good care of her.
Yes, she did.
Did she raise her?
She raised her, yes.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she raised her.
No, she did not.
Yes, she raised
From
her.
what age?
I can't tell you what age and
I
stuff.
bet.
How do you not know that?
You know,
From a
because I
newborn
had a
baby.
stroke because of my child
She's lying.
From a
being
She's
newborn
lying.
baby, my
and stuff.
She's
grandmother had
lying.
me.
No, but you
My
would
daddy had
know
me.
She's
when
lying.
you would remember your granddaughter in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would remember her.
Did you remember
She
that?
never
Yes,
spent
I do.
Christmas with me.
So
Never
you
spent a
remember
birthday
your
with me.
granddaughter in your life?
Yes, I do.
How often did you see her?
Often, because
That's
I
not
had to
true.
whip that ass.
That's not true.
What I tell you was abusive.
Often.
Me and
I
my
would not want her watching my kids because I would have to whip her ass if she touched mine.
mom got into a big fight because my mom was mad with me
I
for
don't care.
cursing
Say
her
what you
mama out.
want.
And they both
Say
jumped
what you
me
want.
with the
We ain't
baby I was
raising our
pregnant
kids
with
like
when my
this.
mama was killed. That was early in my pregnancy.
That's abuse.
She never whipped me.
You jumped her?
Yes,
I ain't never jumped her.
she did jump me.
There's so many different ways to discipline a child. You take everything from them, make them read a book in their room with the door open, or in the kitchen with their back turned away from the TV so they can't see the TV in the living room type. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, there's so many different ways. You ain't gotta physically abuse your kids.
Never jumped her. My daughter beat that ass. Beat that ass.
Did you
That's
know your
weak.
daughter
It's weak.
was involved with selling drugs?
Yes, I was aware of it.
And it's
Isn't that
cowardly.
more possibly why she was killed than your granddaughter? Because they didn't have a good relationship?
They had robbed her 3 times, her and her baby
To
daddy.
strike a kid, and you are an adult, to strike a kid, that's cowardly. I don't care.
My mother was
My child was robbed
when
3
we had a
times.
funeral,
That's how
we
she
didn't even
wound
have
up in
money to bury my
Capital
mama. Stop
I
lying.
mean, your daughter
and
was,
Bond
your daughter was
lying.
shot how many times?
I don't know. Tell me.
Multiple.
Somebody. I wish somebody would tell me.
Your daughter was killed. You don't know how many
I
times she was
sure
shot?
don't. When I got there and stuff, they was she was laying there stiff as a board. I knew
You
she had
never
been
asked?
We get
ain't
into the
nobody never
results.
told me, and I never asked.
You never asked.
I never asked.
Why not?
I was in shock.
Shoshana
Let's
came here
go.
to take a
Come
lie
on.
detector test,
Come on.
and we asked her, did you participate in any way in the death of your mother, Trinice? She answered no. Do you have any direct knowledge as to the...
Oh man, her eyes are starting to flutter. This might not be good for her.
the identity
This
of
might
the
not be
person
good
who
for the
shot your
daughter.
mother? She answered no. The result of those 2 questions came back the same, and it came back that Trishana told the truth.
See. Right. Leave me alone. I give you a hug, but leave me alone.
I'm relieved that it's out now. Yes. And I just hope we can all just make peace and move on with our lives. That's it.
And make things easier for you and your children, right?
Right.
All right. Well, good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Come on, baby.
And I just feel like this was the closure that I needed, in order to move forward in my life. I can never bring my mama back. The results can't bring her back. The way Grandma feel can't bring her back. So I just won't be able to move on with my children, be the mama that I never had to my kids, and just lead by example. That's all.
Facts.
I called you.
Facts, man. Hey, his shows definitely be changing people's lives for the better or for the worse, But let me know what y'all think about the video down in the comments, or down in the down in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the videos. Man, it is 7 in the morning. I've been up since 5 o'clock a.m. yesterday.